Hello and welcome to Glimmer of Genius, episode 17. This is a podcast all about Magic the Gathering, bringing you the latest happenings in the MTG community, from news to tournament reports, deck ideas to MTG finance. We are Glimmer of Genius. If you'd like to learn more about the show, then check us out on Facebook at Glimmer of Genius with capital G's. Leave a comment or a question for the show and become part of the conversation. My name's Luke Vincent and I make YouTube videos. On the line with me is Level 2 Judge Grant David and MTG Trader Simon Wright.
It's Halloween.
Woo! So I sold them All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Expensive card for no reason.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for Halloween.
It's a good time to sell it. How much did you sell it for?
120.
What?
Wow.
Why is that so expensive?
Reserve is no.
Okay. Fair enough then, I guess. Grant, how are you doing today? You alright?
I'm good, thank you.
Simon, you good?
Oh, I got day drunk.
Day drunk?
Now I'm hanging a bit.
Wow. That's a classy start to the day.
I went out for date day with the wife.
This is the show that you were on about.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors. The most horrifying part was the wine they sold.
But it can't have been that bad if you were day drunk.
Right.
It's not going to stop me.
Other than getting day drunk, Simon, and selling strangely priced Magic cards, what have you been up to in the world of Magic this week?
Standard Showdown.
Woo.
That's been quite good actually. So this time we usually do Standard Showdown as a 4-week block, and there's usually prizes on the line. It's pack per win. But to make it a bit more interesting and encourage people to come multiple weeks, I've sort of put an extra £25 store credit to be spent on singles for whoever does the best. And then once I sobered up, I realised I don't really want to give away that prize, so I put together a deck to start fighting people. So I've been playing a bit of Standard lately. I put together Red Green Dinosaurs.
Oh, nice.
It's Stompy. I've done right. I've gone 2-1 both weeks. We cap it at 3 rounds per week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently sitting at second place.
Oh.
However, this week, because we've been so busy, I'm going to have to put Commander Day on the same day as the Showdown, so I'm probably not going to be able to play because I'm going to be too busy.
Oh, disaster.
So I'm going to slip from the table. I'm not really happy about that.
No.
That's quite good. We also had a Big Dino sealed event, because I had the Big Dino weekend, and I was a bit concerned because it was GP Liverpool weekend, and so I thought, well, there's not really many players really interested, but we got a good turnout. And sealed as well. We don't usually do sealed apart from pre-release, just because of the price, unless it's pre-release or a PPTQ. But no, yeah, it was a good turnout and good fun had by all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so my Red Green deck, basically, all the Dino ramps, the Channeler, which I really like, the one that comes in with -1 counters on, and you take one off whenever you tap it for mana. The one that taps for it's a 1/1, but it's a 3/3 if you control it's a 3/3 if you control a dinosaur. Very strong. I also have the red guy that makes your dinosaur spells cost 1 less, and you can give dinosaurs haste, but I've taken him out. He was proved not correct. I've switched up a little bit. I've taken out some dinosaurs and put in more just 4 power creatures to go with the Green God and Hazoret as well. I'm running as well. So I've put in, I can't remember what its name is, the Brawler, the Red Brawler, 2 mana, 4/3, discard a card.
Oh, okay. This has changed. It sounds like it's changed direction quite a bit from Dinos then.
Still dinos, still got a fair bit of dinos in. I've also taken out Carnage Tyrant.
Oh.
Well, basically, it was quite annoying. Week 2, someone came along and bought literally most of my deck. So yeah, as it goes, I had to make some changes on the fly. Carnage Tyrant was good, but I think he's more sideboard material.
Yeah.
Than main deckable, so I can live without him. Register Alpha, awesome. Yeah, there's also the 3/2 guy.
Death Gorge Scavenger.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
He's proven quite, especially against them. I played against God's Gift, and that was quite good to exile some of their stuff from their graveyard.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And I'll be drafted this week, and I get to draft next week as well.
Bing.
And I really like Ixalan draft. I played a bit online as well, which is the first time for ages. That was quite good. I opened up my account and found I had like 48 tickets sitting there.
Oh, boom.
Yeah, so played a couple of sealed leagues. First one was really good. Second one, not so good.
No.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. Good. It's always nice to log on and find you've got ticks and be like, woo.
Well, yeah, it's usually I don't have ticks.
Yeah. Okay, Grant, what about yourself? What have you been up to with Magic?
Standard Showdown. Even played Simon on Saturday, which was good. Although I don't remember using that card, so I think you were just making stuff up in your head. The difficult scavenger. Maybe you were just thinking about what would be good and not what actually was good.
Yeah, okay. Why can't I draw this card?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
I think someone else is running it as well, and I played them.
Oh, okay, but yeah. No, so I'm still running Esper for God's Gift at the moment, or Godfarer's Gift. It's still technically incomplete because I still need 2 more hostage takers, but it seems to do, just fine. And when it goes off, it really does, and it's quite consistent. I would say like 75% of the time it goes, well, it does something, but the times it doesn't, it's just kind of a bit sad, particularly when it's against quite quick decks like Simon's. But
Brawler, bring the brawl.
Yeah, exactly. But
it was good. It worked.
I might be switching to another deck that uses Dousing Dagger as a win condition that I will talk about later because it's hilarious and silly, and I want to give that a go.
Okay, cool. Okay, nice. As for me, I was in Liverpool this weekend just gone, and the last week I've been spent just drafting online whenever I can in preparation for the GP. The GP was sealed, Ixalan sealed, and then obviously if you make day 2 you get to draft twice, so I was putting in lots of practice for that, and for me I did very, very well. I basically made day 2. My seal pool was pretty insane actually. I had black-white removal, and that was the colour combination I ended up playing because I had all my best cards were basically in that colour combination. I don't know if you've ever had it where you open a seal pool and within about 2 minutes you just think, okay, I'm playing this then because this is clearly the best thing, like straight away. It wasn't one of these pools where there was a lot of good options. It was just kind of, I should be playing these 2 colours. The power level was like nowhere near anything else. Yes. So it was really quite satisfying because I didn't really want to have a stressful time of like, oh god, agonising over the pool and what card to put and stuff. So
you didn't want to be a good player.
No, I know. I just wanted it to be there, open. I just open it and it'd be there. Don't have to think. I did have to make obviously some decisions about what cuts to make because you can only play, some of the cards. You can't just jam all of the cards that you think are good. And I think I built the pool pretty well. Had very, as I say, solid removal. When I first built it, I was thinking to myself, this is obviously what I need to build, but when I looked at it sort of standing back afterwards, I was like, it actually looks like it could just be a horrible, horrible mess. Because I had a significant number of dinosaurs, pirates, and vampires. And I was thinking to myself, I can just imagine this just doesn't really do anything.
Run them all.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. And
hey.
It was weird because like the vampire synergies I had were the best. So obviously like things like Anointed Deacon to increase the power of an attacking vampire, that sort of stuff. With all your life linking tokens or whatever, was really nice. It created some very interesting moments for my opponent. I had this one round where I curved out like all the powerful vampires in my deck. I had Maverin Fane as well, the guy that when you attack with a non-token vampire, you create a vampire.
Oh.
So I had a turn 2 vampire, turn 3 that swing, turn 4 call to the feast, and then just sort of went off and just beat him down with vampires. So then he sideboards in the 3 mana deal 2 damage to every non-pirate creature spell.
Yes.
And my opening hand the next game is pirates into other pirates, and I don't play a single vampire for the whole game.
Oh.
And he just sort of said to me, like, at one point I made him discard a card with raid off of the guy that makes the Dead-Eye Tormentor guy. So I attack and then it raids and makes them discard a card. And he discarded this card and I was like, oh, that's horrible against me. And he just was like, not against all of your pirates. Where are all your vampires? You sideboarded like 1 card. I was like, yeah, this is what my deck is, only like half vampires. So I just drew all of them in the last game. So yeah, it was a bit brutal for him. But no, the deck was actually really strong. I mean, I had Wandering Scoundrels as well, Mark of the Vampire. So I had also that Fathom Fleet Captain, the 2 mana pirate that makes other pirates. I had games where, if you've played any amount of Ixalan Limited, you'll experience it at some point where someone resolves the Wanted Scoundrels, and you just lose to it, or the 2 mana pirate that makes pirates, and then you just lose to it, or they play a Mark of the Vampire on something and you lose for that. So there's just all sorts of nastiness. Mark of the Vampire on the territorial hammer skull is particularly unpleasant, as you kind of just tap down whichever blocker could kill it, and which is quite nasty. But yeah, it was really good. I ended up going 7-2, which I was very pleased with.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. The drafts the next day, I drafted Black White Vampire deck that I was quite happy with. I managed to draft 4 of the cards that, when it enters the battlefield, you make them lose life equal to the amount of vampires you have on the battlefield.
Ooh.
I only played 3 because I'm not mad. I was really pleased with the draft, but the game just didn't work out. I only won 1 round out of the 3, and all of the rounds were horrible, grindy slugfests, and it was a case of where both me and my opponent were top decking, and either of us the games could have gone either way. There was one time where in either games I was thinking, I've got my opponent to like 3 life, I have 2 vampires in play, if I draw the guy that drains them, I win on the spot. So there was definitely opportunities for me to win, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. So that draft was a bit unfortunate. And then the second draft was a complete train wreck. I was in green and there was a Fire Cannon Blast 3rd pack, and I didn't take it and go into red. I took something else and tried to make Merfolk happen, but then I just didn't see any Merfolk from that point onwards, and I should have gone into red. So I ended up in a really mediocre kind of green-blue deck, and I didn't win a single round after that. So that was really bad. But that was, I think it was weird.
3-3 in that one.
No, in the end, it was quite sad actually. We ended up drawing the final round, and the reason we drew was my opponent managed to flip a Conqueror's Galleon, and he was returning Call to the Feast every turn. So I just couldn't punch through, and that game lasted like 40 of the 50 minutes. Unfortunately, I then got decked out, and I then beat him in the second game quite quickly within like 5 minutes, but then we only had like a couple of minutes left to actually play, and we both just said, there's not much really good point, is there? None of us were playing for any pro points or cash at that point in the day, so I just said to him, look, I'm happy just to call it a draw and leave it there, whatever. Nothing was on the line. So
I'm surprised you're still sticking around if there was nothing on the line. I thought you might have dropped and gone and play something else.
Well, I was going to. There was like a 6 o'clock modern event, and I was thinking to myself, I'll drop and then do the 6 o'clock modern. And then this game 1 lasted so long, and I got so absorbed in the game that by the time it kind of finished, I was like, oh crap, I've missed the modern event, and so I didn't do that. I then, whilst kicking around for everyone else to finish this silly modern event, I did a turbo draft, which was the worst thing in the world. I did one at GP Birmingham and forced Black White Zombies, Hour of Devastation, and I had this really awesome deck, and it's great fun, and I thought, silly little draft, it doesn't matter, I'll just quickly do it. And I mulliganed to nothing both games, because the turbo draft... The turbo drafts, for anyone who's not familiar with them, you draft and play 1 round, and if you win, you get 100 tickets to exchange at the prize wall. Okay. And 10 tickets is worth a booster pack, so you can effectively get 10 boosters.
Yeah. If
you win your round. But yeah, my 1 round, I draft this half decent pirate deck, very aggressive. It's even playing Rowdy Crew, which I've never played before. I was really excited. And my opening hand is 5 lands and all the expensive cards and 2 expensive cards. So I was like, mulligan that, no land, mulligan that, 1 land, and then proceed to lose. Second game, mulligan a no land hand, mulligan another no land hand, go to 5 and have another no land hand. And I just said to the guy, I quit, you go get your tickets. It's just a complete. That was turbo. Like, yeah, there's absolutely no point. So yeah, that was really quite frustrating. It's like, I wanted something to do enjoyable for like a few minutes while waiting for people to play Magic, waiting for the rounds to finish and stuff. Ended up just basically throwing 15 quid down the drain. But yeah, that's why you should never do turbo drafts, by the way. Turbo drafts are terrible.
No, I don't do a turbo draft.
No, it's kind of like, in my mind, it's the same principle as like doing single elimination of the drafts. Like I've done.
That's usually what their sit and go drafts are, aren't they? Draft on demand, their single elimination.
They had those as well as the turbo drafts. So the turbo drafts are kind of like an extra thing, as well as the single elimination events.
It's strange. Oh, sorry.
Like the point of them is just to get rid of like the last bits of time, and also to unfortunately spend a lot of money normally, but to get tickets. So if you're after like something on the prize pool, it's like the most efficient, time wise, not money wise, to get those last tickets if you're lucky. But I see what you mean. Like unless you're desperately trying to just turn money into tickets, they are just kind of like very frustrating and annoying mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even single elimination, I like GPs. I like drafting, but I don't really draft the GPs just because of the single elimination nature of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay 15 quid for one round of Magic, really.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I would draft a deck and play 3 rounds.
No,
yeah,
absolutely. And I, for the most part, it's just glorified gambling.
basically.
You're not playing.
Don't tell the tax man that.
No,
Exactly. Yeah.
but you're not playing enough Magic for it to be anything else, really. That's the thing. So yeah, and I didn't mind that as Grant, you were saying, you know, it's a good well, it's not even a good way, but it's a way to kill some time, because it's so pathetic. I was even at the point where me and my mate that was there, I said to him, I want to do a turbo draft just to wait for them, because we've got ages, because we each only have one deck on us, and we were going to play some casual games. So I said, you know, there's only so much mileage we can get out of just running the same deck into each other, you know, again and again. I said, I'll do a turbo draft. He goes, I quite fancy a turbo draft as well. I said, well, wait for me to fire one first. Don't join the same one as me. I said, because if we get paired against each other, it's just pointless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's not even worth, at that point, it's 30, you know, we're collectively spending 30 quid to then only win 5 tickets each. You know, it's just, I said, just wait if you're happy to wait for me to do that. And so he did. And it was, because I thought that would just be a bloody nightmare. I was hoping to get a Chaos draft done, but they sold out so quick to the point where they had to, as a contingency, put on an unhinged draft.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that. Thomas Ralph was judging that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is the apparent? Because ever since that happened, all of a sudden we heard this intermittent screaming, and
No,
Ralph.
Red Hot Hottie does it. I don't know about anything else.
okay, so there's a card, because we were sitting there like constructing our draft decks, and every so often someone would scream, and the judge just said to us, "Don't worry, it's the unhinged draft." And I was like, I have no idea what the hell's going on over there.
Red Hot Hottie is a 4-mana 2/5. When it deals damage to a creature, put a 3rd-degree burn counter on that creature. It has at the beginning of at the end of each turn, sacrifice this creature unless you scream "ah" at the top of your lungs.
Okay, right, that's fine.
Oh, I can't wait for the new unstable set to come out.
And it's stuff like that is exactly the reason I won't be playing it. And I don't.
I heard he had to help a player resolve into the dungeon, which is where you play a game underneath the table. You play a mini game, and whoever wins that, I think, like you win, they lose half their life, I think, or something.
Why did he have to help him play it under the table?
He had to help someone resolve 2, so they had to put a table on top of another table. They had to move the main game on top of a table and then put that table on another table so they could play underneath that one. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I bet health and safety weren't happy about that.
No.
Probably not the random screaming either, but you know.
It's funny because, you know, we get strange enough looks anyway. Parking attendant was like, so what's going on in that room? They're like, oh, it's a collectible card game. And he went, oh, one of them, is it? Like,
one of them.
What does that even mean?
Just tell him to get back to his car park.
No, overall, the GP was really good fun. I was saying to everyone else, actually, afterwards, what was really nice for me is I didn't play a single arsehole. It was lovely. I only played against really nice people, and whether I won or lost, it was all really good. Everyone was nice, and it was really, really relaxed. And everyone else, even though there's a couple of people that we were there with who weren't ecstatic with how well they did, they were still in relatively high spirits, and it was a really nice event. It always feels like the rounds drag on in these things, but I think that's just the nature of them. So yeah, that was my GP experience. That was so really good fun. I think overall I did 8-6, and then the draw that I got in the last one, that last game.
The draw.
The draw.
So, do you like sealed GPs now?
Yeah, I think I said before, like the when we went to London, Kaladesh one, I didn't enjoy that, but I played against a lot of people that were difficult, shall we say. And I also didn't do any practice for that. I just hadn't had the time to practice for it, so I didn't really know the format that well. So it was just a bit of a recipe for disaster.
But now you've done well at a sealed GP, you can come to the next one with me in London in January.
Yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah, are you trying to upset me, Simon?
No, I'm just trying to convince you to go.
You are aware when my baby is due, right?
Yeah, not till February.
February the 8th.
Yeah, that's like a whole 10 days.
I did.
What I love about babies and stuff is how reliable they are.
Yes, reliable little bundles of joy. See, I did.
As Simon can tell us, that singular baby you have.
I've got two. They're well reliable. Guaranteed. As soon as you want to go get some sleep, they'll wake up.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I did try and broach this with my wife, and she just laughed at me. I didn't really see what was funny. But yeah, and she did. The other thing as well was it almost as if she's trying to crush any idea that might be creeping in the back of my head that I could go. What if if I did this, maybe I could go. Because all the way to the build up of this one, she was saying, "Oh, I think you're going to really enjoy this. It'd be nice for you to do this. It'll be your last one for a while, won't it?" So every so often she just sort of get that in there. It's like, oh, okay, I see.
You got plenty of time to go to more.
Yeah. I don't mind missing a few at that initial bit anyway. I suppose I should do something to help. Yeah, it was funny actually. Someone was I helped give some feedback on someone else's sealed deck. Chloe that went with us. Oh yeah. Because she was kind of umming and ahhing about how to build a sealed deck, and lots of people had looked at it and said, "Oh, it's really." It was one of those seal pools that I was telling you that I the sort of one I didn't want because you could play almost any colour combination and didn't feel like either one was incorrect. And I suggested one way of building it, and she seemed to quite like it. And then whenever she sideboarded into it from that point onwards, she seemed to do very well. And I think she went 7-2 or something like that in the end, off the back of losing her first round after her bye and kind of being a bit tilted because she was like, what am I doing with this sodding deck? So she was like, oh, is there sealed your favourite format, your best format? Is it limited? And I was like, no, I'm not a limited player at all. So yeah, to do well at this was really good.
Well done.
Thank you.
It's always nice to make day two.
It is. I always said to someone else, even if I don't get, because a couple of people a lot of people drop surprisingly early, even on day two. They're like, oh, I'm not going to get this set. I'm not going to. You know what? I don't fancy a second free draft. Or actually, it's not even free. A draft that you've already technically paid for, and they just drop out and do other stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you're not going to make it, they want to go and play other events where they can win prizes, I guess.
Yes, I suppose so. That's true. I was just walking on there a little bit, thinking, oh yeah, no, I've earned this draft. I kind of wanted to do it, and also it's nice practice for such a high level draft, basically the sort of competitive environment, which is good. Or the Nazi draft, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it's very hard to find that sort of level of practice locally. It's a very good experience.
Yeah. Moving on to other news, Simon, you mentioned earlier there was something afoot with print runs in Ixalan or something.
Yeah, so I thought I'd mention just because I've had a few people at the shop ask me about it now, about how they thought something was off with the likelihood to open a certain rare. And we get this quite often, like we had with Fatal Push. Oh, they must have printed it at a higher rarity than uncommon, like a rare uncommon. And we get it with most sets, and sometimes it does seem to happen. But this time there has been a specific reason for it, and I don't know if you know, but the flip cards, so all the flip rares, actually make up 10 additional rares. So more rares than you usually get in a set this size. And because there's two of each rare per print run, that means there's actually 20 additional rares. And what it means is you're unlikely to open a certain rare from the set, but it also means you're less likely to open a mythic rare.
Oh.
Now, people might think that's bad, less likely to open a mythic rare, but what's happened is because the mythic rares in this set aren't as sought after or aren't as popular. I mean, you've got, apart from the 3 Planeswalkers and the Carnage Tyrant, most mythics are quite crap.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worth anything.
No.
And there's no masterpieces, so most of the rares are actually worth more than the last couple of sets.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It means even though you're less likely to open a mythic, you are a lot more likely to open a card that's worth more than the pack itself.
Good.
You're quite easily going to open a $5 rare. It's not going to be unusual like you would do in other packs, which is good customer experience there. But I've had some people that are a bit annoyed with it, that they're less likely to crack the rares they want. From my experience, it was very odd. I usually open a minimum of a case of each set when it comes out, just to get some stuff in the folders. And usually, if I open a case, I'm expecting at least one and two of every mythic, and around 3 and 4 of every rare. This time, I was getting some mythics I didn't get at all, and some rares I only got once. Some rares I got 9 times.
Out of a case?
Yeah. To be fair, I might have traded in some of them, but I got it a lot more than often. I ended up with, what was it, Sorcerer's Spyglass. I ended up with 9 non-foils, 1 foil, and a pre-release copy. At the end of pre-release weekend, I had 11 copies of 1 rare.
Strange.
Sorry, not pre-release weekend. By the end of release weekend, I did pick some of them up in trading during the week. But yeah, I must have opened at least 6 or 7 from boxes from my case, which was very bizarre. There might have been some rares I didn't open at all. I'm not sure, but no, there's some I did only get once. So it was very all over the place. So it throws it out a bit for people that usually think, especially for big stores that do build a play sets and stuff. Because usually you're looking at, if you want to guarantee a play set of mythics and a play set of rares for a player, you're looking at opening at least 3 cases, I believe, as a minimum to guarantee. Even though you might not be guaranteed a place of every mythic, but to be close to that, you're looking at 3 cases. But with this sort of change, that must throw the numbers well out.
So one thing I kind of was a bit confused with what you were saying there, though, was surely the probability of opening any mythic rare remains the same?
Yes, but the chance of your pack containing a mythic rare is less.
But that's the same as what I just said. That's what I'm not understanding.
No. You've got equal, if you open a mythic rare, you've got an equal chance of it being any mythic rare.
No. Okay, so why is there now less chance to open a mythic? Surely they
on a print run, you have now 20 more rares than you would normally. So that dilutes the chances of opening a mythic. So the number of mythics has stayed the same. The number of rares have increased by 20.
So surely then the amount of mythic, because there aren't the same amount of rares and mythics every set. So I haven't got a booster pack in front of me.
Check it, it'll be less.
Taking a booster pack out of the bin. Premium card odds approximately 1 every 67.
Which pack's that?
This is Ixalan.
Ixalan.
So it must be different every pack then. Every set.
Around the same. The odds is usually around the same.
So, because I mean, it stands to reason if you got a smaller set, you'd have more chances of opening a mythic.
Did it say 1 in 67?
It just says, literally, I'll read it word for word. It says premium card odds approx, and then 1:67, which is a ratio.
That's 1 in 67 cards, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, so not packs.
No, that's cards.
Of course, it would be packs. Sorry, 1 in 67 cards.
But it used to be less than that.
But yeah, if you had Power was a smaller set, so it stands to reason that there are less potential combinations of cards, therefore you're more likely to get a mythic. So surely this isn't anything new.
No, because the mythic to rare ratio is the same, or not to Ixalan, but to previous sets. So there'll be less cards, but there's also less mythics.
Oh right, okay. So they have actually changed
the ratio to mythics to rares will be the same. Hence, the likelihood to open a mythic is.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you're saying that they kept the formula or the ratio the same, but this time once they would do it, they added an extra
10 rares.
20 in.
Yeah.
Right, so that's a subtle difference.
But for the average player, I think it's good. If the mythics aren't worth as much, then it doesn't really matter.
No.
But I've had some players complain about it and being a bit off about it.
People love a mythic.
I think they've done a good job of making sure the rares hold more value than the mythics.
Although is that also to do with the fact that invocations aren't a thing as well?
Invocations took away the value across mythics and rares.
Oh, okay.
They held all the value in the sets. I think we've had my rants about this before.
Yeah.
Shut up, Simon. When the mythic rarity was first introduced, there was complaints from the players going, "Oh, it's going to be a new rarity. We're going to have to get all these sought after, these expensive playable new mythics in order to play the deck." And it was sort of like a backhand push. No, that won't be the case. And of course, tries. Oh, all the planeswalkers will be good, and they'll be mythics.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but then basically any other good playable card was whacking at mythic as well.
Yeah.
And it got a bit ridiculous. So I think the step they're making is making sure that planeswalkers still fine, but other mythics not as powerful.
Which I think they're doing all right with, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they are excellent. And then making sure the value trickles down into the rares instead. And that means you're a lot more likely, you're less likely to open a mythic, but you're more likely to open a card that's worth more than $5.
Yeah. No,
so you're a lot more happy.
It's definitely the way to do it, and I think you're right. They're doing a reasonable job of that for sure.
But that does mean if a mythic does break out quite well, it has quite potential to have quite a high price point.
Yeah, like Liliana, the Last Hope was so expensive for so long.
I don't know why. I mean, it's still expensive now.
Yeah.
They thought being 3 mana, I think she was going to be playable in other formats apart from Standard, but evidently not.
3 mana Lily, and now we've got new 4 mana Chandra with 4 abilities, also holding a very high price tag. Price memory is strong, even in different cards.
Yeah.
Did I talk enough about that?
I think so. You did a sterling job. Excellent.
Oh, good.
Even that last little thing you said, you kind of reminded me a little bit of Rudy from Alpha Investments, which is...
He's my idol.
Grant, you mentioned earlier that there was some sort of salad deck that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so I said a silly Standard deck, and Luke misheard me as silly salad deck. But given that it has Dowsing Dagger and Make Plants, I think I'm now going to refer to it as the silly salad deck. It's better that way. Yeah, so it was on MTG Golf. If anyone sees that, they would have seen. I think they've actually done 2 articles on it because someone built it and then they improved upon it. But basically, it uses Dowsing Dagger, which if you're not familiar with, is a 2-mana artifact, which is when it comes in, your opponent gets 2/0/2 plant tokens with Defender. You can also pay 2 to equip it to a creature, give it +2/+1. And if the creature that is equipped deals damage to an opponent, then it transforms into a land that taps 3 mana of any colour. So I kind of liked it. So I opened it I think it was a pre-release, and I transformed it once, and that was cool. So okay, let's look into that. Maybe it's like a mana ramp deck, and it's not at all. Like the deck is built around Dowsing Dagger, and you play it, you make plants, and then you win the game. The fact that it's an equipment, the fact that you can equip it, and the fact that it has another side is completely irrelevant. It wins by giving the opponent plants. So I'll tell you. So basically, it runs cards that do damage to the opponent because of them having creatures or them playing creatures, which of course they're not really, but same thing. So it runs Trespasser's Curse, which is an aura, an enchant player, which means that when they play a creature or a creature instead of that for under their control, I should say, they lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. And it also runs Rampaging Ferocidon, which is the 3-mana dinosaur with menace, which means players can't gain life, and whenever a creature comes into play under their control, that respective player loses life. Yeah. And then it also runs Panharmonicon.
Right. Okay.
I'll give you an example. If you have a Panharmonicon and a Trespasser's Curse in play, so that's 2 things, bit random, the opponent's probably thinking, what the hell are you doing?
Get off my table, Grant.
Exactly, yeah. And you play a Dowsing Dagger with no creatures in play, they're probably thinking, again, what the hell are you doing? You play some Dowsing Dagger. Dowsing Dagger says, let's put 2 plants into play. Panharmonicon says, wait, let's have 4 instead, shall we?
Oh.
And then the 4 creatures coming into play trigger Trespasser's Curse. And again, Panharmonicon says, hey, you've got 4 triggers there, let's make that 8 triggers instead, shall we? So if you have a situation where, again, pretty normal board, well, I say normal board state, a pretty achievable board state, where you have, say, Rampaging Ferocidon and a Trespasser's Curse and a Panharmonicon, you play 1 Dowsing Dagger and they're going to lose 16 life. So, yeah.
How did you do the other 4 damage?
Other 4?
Yeah.
Well, it runs obviously 4 pound harmonicons and 4 dowsing daggers, so you can do it like that.
Okay.
It runs unlicensed inspiration. You can also just attack with Ferocidons. It also runs Sahili Ray, because then you can copy dowsing daggers and make copies of them, and that's quite fun.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It uses Glintless Cranes to just dig a bit deeper. It also runs Treasure Map, but I don't know why. I think just because it's an okay card, I guess, and it's an artifact for unlicensed creation. I don't know.
The Scry is useful.
It's like the old, is it Steel Colossus decks, but without the Colossus.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I've taken this and put my own sort of spin on it because it had fatal pushes in it, and I kind of wanted to go a bit more heavy into the combo because I found that kind of worked for my Godfarer's Gift deck. So I added a few more. I think the list only runs 2 dinosaurs, so I'm going to try running a playset of them. And also, I've just put in a couple of Marionette Masters.
Yes.
And also, I put in some Reckless Fireweavers as well. Because although it's not very artifact focused, just those extra points of damage. And I always love the situation of being able to play Treasure Map and then Marionette Master sacrifices 3 clues and they lose 12 life. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to have fun with this. Because, again, the opponent's going to be like, what? And I can, make my special tokens, give them some plant tokens, and they'll be cool. They'll be pleased that they've got some tokens, and then the tokens will kill them and do 16 damage to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not going to do any damage with Ferocidon, because they've got an army of plant tokens to block with.
Yeah, that should be fun, I think.
Is it not better than Reckless Fireweaver, though?
What is that card?
Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to each opponent.
It's 2 mana, 1/3. It's fine, but you have to go quite heavy on the artifacts for that.
Is there not a card in Ixalan that's just tap, ping them for 1 damage?
Maybe.
And untap it if you play a pirate spell?
Yeah, there is. It's 0/4,
I think
0/5
it's
wall.
3 mana, though.
Lightning Reader.
Yeah. Could do if I wanted to, I guess.
It might be better.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at it, but I want to build this deck because it just seems silly and fun. So yeah, that. I think the original one ran Hostage Taker as well. I think one just because it's a good card, and also because technically if they kill your Hostage Taker, they get their creature back. So damage.
Kill it, I dare you.
I'm afraid the deck. It looks fun.
That deck, by the way, sounded awesome, and
yeah,
I
like the idea.
I'm going to bring it to showdown.
I think so. Yeah, I'm going to try and get the bits for it, and then try and play it. Because again, I was looking at it. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So you get like Panharmonicon, so like you're doing like 8 damage. Like that's quite cool. And then realise that you're not doubling the triggers once. You're doubling them twice because of the Dowsing Dagger, and then the triggers off of that. I was like, yeah, 16 damage. That's super cool.
That does sound fun.
Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do very quickly is the flavor text game.
Oh
no.
I've only got 2 cards each. They're all from Ixalan, so you have a massive clue. So they're all cards that you'll obviously know. And
that's not true.
They're all cards you'll have seen.
No.
I can't help it if you're not going to know what they are. So, for anyone who doesn't know the flavor text game, first of all, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Simon's got to guess it. Okay, so Simon, this first one is for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It is taller than all but the tallest trees, and older than all but the oldest.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. It's ancient something. Ancient Brontodon?
Yeah. Yes. Well done, you.
Oh, these are easier than last time.
I thought if you didn't know that one, I wouldn't have known what to do.
Yeah.
Quit playing this game.
Never. Grant, are you ready?
Go on then.
From the eyes up, it's solid bone and stubbornness.
Oh, is it the? I can't remember the name of it. The headbutting guy, the one that when it attacks, it taps a creature.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Is it stubborn something? I can't remember.
No. Simon, do you know what the name of that one is?
No, I know what it is though. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Something hammerhead.
Territorial Hammerskull.
There we go.
Well done. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, Simon. Difficulty level is stepping up a bit now.
Oh no.
Solitude and starvation are brutal punishments, but even worse is all that time to think.
Is it Jace?
Yeah.
No. That's
They don't have flavour texts, do they?
No, they don't tend to. No.
Oh god.
I'll give you a clue. It's not a creature.
Don't give me a clue. I've had my guess already.
Oh, okay. Grant, do you know?
Is it Ixalan's binding?
Oh, no, very close.
That's got a picture of Jace on the island, so.
Oh. No, that's what I was going to guess as well then.
No, it was duress.
Ah.
Okay, then, Grant. One last one then for you, Grant. For a price, the floating city of High and Dry offers all the amenities a pirate could want. Rest, recreation, and revenge.
Oh, I don't know what that would be. Oh, that's frustrating, mate.
There is a big clue in the text.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture the bloody place.
Say it again.
For a price, the floating city of High and Dry offers all the amenities a pirate could want. Rest, recreation, and revenge.
No, I don't know. I'm going to say a red card. That's my guess.
A red card.
I don't know. Simon, have you got any inkling?
No.
No. I thought this was an easy one, but I guess because I've been casting it and seeing it a lot, maybe it feels easier. It was contract killing.
Oh, okay. No, I wouldn't have got that.
What was the clue?
For a price. And then it had revenge in there as well. But no, alright.
Okay.
Fair enough. You both drew there, so that's it.
Yay.
Yeah, I didn't get my ass kicked.
So is there anything else that either of you wanted to...
Tell you what people should do, though, listening, is to check out the price of ancient ziggurats.
Oh, has that gone up, Lars?
Which is now a $10 uncommon.
No way.
I do want them because there was that rainbow human deck that looks amazing.
Yeah.
It was printed as an FNM promo as well. Why is that so expensive?
It's always been like at least $5 since when I've known it.
It's always been a couple of quid, yeah. It's always been... it's a good card.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've had it for my Sliver or Ally deck or whatever it was.
Yeah, so that was quite nice.
So that's your hot pick of the week.
Pick of the week would have been picking it a week ago.
Yeah, right.
You're all too late.
So this is what you need to start doing.
Dive into collections quickly.
Yeah.
This is what you need to start doing. You need to... So I'm going to put you on the spot now. I want you to tell us a card that is going to be like, right, what should we buy and sell? I want a card that we should be selling and a card that we should be buying.
You should be selling Ether Vials or anything that's going to be Iconic Masters, which is due out 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time.
Oh, yeah.
People seem to have forgot because it was spoilt so long ago. People seem to have forgotten, and I'm selling Ether Vials left, right, and centre just to get rid of them.
Oh wow, savage!
What you should buy?
Bitcoins.
Yes. I one day I'll figure out how they work, so I won't recommend them at the moment.
An advert for Bitcoins came up on YouTube the other day, and I laughed. I didn't realise there was still a thing.
Yeah.
Loads.
So what to buy? Don't forget, there's the Pro Tour is next week. So buy whatever's played there. I'd look for older, as previously, mythics from previous sets that have potential to be played, especially Hour of Devastation, because it wasn't open much, and probably Ether Revolt as well. Mechanized Production, for some reason, I've been picking up. And the Demon as well.
Which one?
What's the Black Demon?
There's a couple of demons.
Yeah.
He might be from Kaladesh, actually. Herald of Anguish. Improvised.
One, yeah.
Stuff for treasure tokens, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out on Friday, see what's been mentioned for the Pro Tour, and see if you can pick up some stuff early for that.
Yeah.
I think today, like prices rise so quickly and get bought out so just on hearsay about players looking for certain cards at the Pro Tour, even if they don't do well, it's a ridiculous game now and again. I don't really speculate myself, but if the actual game, then yeah, you need to be sniffing around the forums on Thursday night, really.
Oh. The best bit of specking that I did was recently. I don't do it myself. I don't know enough, and I don't really have the time or the energy to do it. But Search for Ascanta, I managed to get early at a decent price.
Yeah, off me, you bastard.
Yeah. Well,
what was it, £3 each?
2.
Yeah. I got one for that price, just because I wanted one, not because I had plans for it going up. But yeah,
I didn't think it was going to go up. I just thought it would be playable, and I just thought,
exactly,
yeah. So when I say specking, I just thought, you got it at a cheap price. I'm going to get it now before it becomes known it's good in case it does go up. It just seemed like a very powerful card. How much is it now?
$13.
Oh, that's stupid. Surely that's not going to stay that high.
Yeah, that and hostage taker won't go up any further. You can't support $13 rares forever.
It just didn't seem.
What's that, around 10 quid? Okay, you can support $13 rares. It won't go up anymore, though. You can't go higher than that.
I get hostage taker. I just don't understand because that can be played in a number of decks, whereas search, you got to build around for that, and it doesn't. Also, you don't really want to play it. It's not played as a 4-of. Like hostage taker might be an easy 4-of in a lot of decks.
I'd also unload your Scarab Gods.
Really?
They can't go. Well, unless you want to play them. I mean, they're not. I don't think they can go up anymore. It's like a $46 mythic that's still being opened. But you can't really. I wouldn't. That can't go higher. It just can't.
No. How much is that now?
$46.
Whoa.
I might look into Nicol Bolassac. Blue Black seems to be quite. Blue Black control looks like it's got the tools to get there. Yeah. So quite easy splash red for God Pharaoh.
Yeah, easy.
If they could play that card, it just wrecks. It's game. Usually it's game over if they land down.
Yeah, he is good. Some good cards there, Simon. Excellent. We'll be picking it apart if the opposite of what you said comes true. So.
Yeah, I need to listen back on these podcasts sometime.
Yeah.
Another one I've heard mentioned about is Vona, Butcher of Malcolm, but we've mentioned him before. I was comparing him to an old vampire card.
What's it called? Blood Baron of the Scotland.
That's it. And other people are now picking up on that as well.
Okay.
Well, that was my first thought. Like a 4-mana 4/4 with lifelink is going to be that.
He's not as hard to get rid of as the other guy, but if he sticks, his ability is very strong.
Yes.
I mean, I use her in God's Gift because you can reanimate her and then she has haste and kills.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's fun.
That is horrible.
Yes, very looking forward to the Pro Tour. I want to see what. It seems like it's been quite a long time, this Pro Tour, since release weekend. It usually seems like it's a lot sooner.
No, it does feel like it's been a while since one. So that is all for now from us. Thank you very much for listening. Search us up on Facebook and follow the group and keep up to date with whenever we are sending out podcasts. We can also be found on the MTG Cast network. That is mtgcast.com, as well as our own podcast website, which is glimmerofgenius.podbean.com. Also, if you're interested in even more Magic the Gathering content, then please check out my YouTube channel, Vincent Games, which you can find in the description below, or search up Vincent Games on YouTube. Thanks very much for listening, and stay tuned for more.
I'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be interested when I tell you what it is.
Oh, okay. So brilliant. There is more. Okay, fantastic.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. I think
So you act surprised you've got something to discuss.
Excellent. I will I will pretend we haven't had this conversation. You'll be very blown away by my acting skills. Okay. Grant, was there anything that you were gonna bring up?
I wouldn't mind talking about that silly salad deck that used Dousing Dagger as a win condition. If you've seen that,
I haven't seen that, so okay, that'll be something for later, and I will be genuinely surprised when you talk about that silly salad deck. Did you say?
Dousing Dagger deck.
I thought you said silly salad deck.
I said silly standard deck, but I prefer the silly salad deck because it does use plant tokens to kill them. So
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's where I thought the it was like a gimmick name or something. All right then. Okay, so we're on episode 17.
Ah,
Yay!
that's not spooky. Oh.
It's not spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, so just get a moment of silence for the thingy, and then I'll do an intro.
To remember our other Fallen podcasts. Sorry, I spoke. Sorry.